Storytime with Yaa Bunayya Singapore! Yay!
Ramadan is here, Ramadan is here, a special month is here now. Alhamdulillah. Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Farain and I'm here to read aloud a story to you. I've got a story, what can it be? I've got a story, come look and come see. I've got a story, what can it be? Come and look and come and see. And this is the story that I have for you today, inshallah. The title of the story is Drama Girl, and it's written by Hiba, Masood, and illustrated by Huda Hadadi. Are you ready to listen to the story? Let's begin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now this book is rather long, so I'm going to hold it in front of me first. Ooh, what do you see here? This probably gives you a clue about what this story is about. And what does the girl look like she's holding? It looks like she's holding a stick. What could the stick be for? Let's find out. Many years ago in Istanbul, at the far end of Gul Pasha Kadesi, where the cobbled road dips towards the Sea of Marmara, there was a small white house with a brick red roof. If you ever walked by this house on a Friday evening, when the sun was setting and the neighbors were lighting their kitchen lanterns, you would hear an old lady singing softly to herself. Why do you sleep? Why do you sleep? Wake if you know what is better for you. Why do you sleep? Why do you sleep? Your Lord the Merciful is waiting for you. If you followed the litting melody and peeped inside the black iron gate of the small white house with the brick red roof, you would see Grandma Najma sitting on the front steps. Grandma Najma would look up at you questioningly. Her brown eyes, the exact shade of a mabrur date, would squint a little, but her strong, wrinkled hands would go on tapping to the beat of her song against her knees, carefully hidden under the folds of her long red skirt. Long before she was Grandma Najma, she was simply Najma. She lived in that same house since she was a little girl. But in those days, she lived with her Baba, her Mama, and her two brothers. Najma went to school in the morning, and in the evening, she helped her Mama around the house as she swept the earthen floors and washed the porcelain cups in which her Baba drank his fragrant cardamom tea. She would sing, "Wake, O believers, big and small, your Lord is watchful over you all. Rise, O believers, saying one rousing call, Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Kareem." Najma loved Ramadan. She loved searching the sky for the new moon with her Baba and stringing up the fanus lights. She loved wearing the special clothes sewn by her Mama. She loved the fancy tea set that Mama would brother would carefully shine, and the steaming bowls of shorba that they all had for iftar. She loved falling asleep to the sound of the night prayers at the distant masjid. Most of all, she loved waking up before dawn as the Musaharati passed through her street. A Musaharati is a special Ramadan drummer. He walks through the neighborhood in the hours before dawn, beating a drum and chanting special songs. He does this to wake all the sleeping people so that they may make sahur, the pre-fast meal, and pray the Fajr prayer before the long day of fasting begins. A Musaharati stands in front of each home and calls the people of that home by name. Every night in Ramadan, Najma would hear her father's name being called out by the Musaharati at their door. Wake, O Ali, wake, O household of Ali, the time for the Lord's bounty is upon you. For as long as Najma could remember, Ramadan had meant hearing the Musaharati, the thump, thump, thump of his drum and the sing-song poetry of his melodious voice. And for as long as Najma could remember, she had carried a secret dream. Najma wanted to become a Musaharati. Rise up from your beds, let sleep leave you. Stand up in prayer, let your Lord be pleased with you. She would hum the tunes of the Musaharati and imagine walking through the neighborhood, waking up her friends and neighbors. One day, when Najma was 12 years old and Ramadan preparations had begun, she went and sat on the floor by her Baba. She put her head on his knee and he stroked her hair. Yes, Najma, what is it that worries you? Najma took a deep breath and all the words spilled out of her. Baba, I want to be the Musaharati this year. I want to beat the drum and sing the verses and wake everyone up for sahur. My friend told me that Brother Yusuf, our neighborhood Musaharati, is not feeling well and is looking for a replacement. I want to be his replacement. Please, this dream is calling for me, Baba. It has been calling to me for years. Baba's hand still on her head, and Najma held her breath. Would he be angry? Would he say she was being foolish? No woman had ever been a Musaharati in her neighborhood. In fact, no woman had ever been a Musaharati anywhere as far as she knew. Najma looked up nervously. Baba's kind eyes met hers. He was not angry. After a long time, Baba spoke. You want to be the Musaharati? Yes, Baba, she whispered. Baba tapped her gently on the nose and slowly smiled. Well, I don't see why not. Najma's heart leapt with joy. If Baba had spoken, then that was that. And do you know what? That was that. Her brothers said she was being silly. Her friends thought she had lost her mind. But Baba had spoken. Like beads slipping by on a tasbih, the days passed and Ramadan came closer and closer. Girls can't be Musaharatis, someone said to Najma every day. Girls can be anything they like, Baba said to her every day. Soon, Ramadan arrived. The curving silver crescent of the new moon had been seen, and the neighbors called out joyous greetings to each other from their doors and windows. Ramadan is here! Glad tidings for a wonderful month! That night, when her brothers had gone to bed, Najma put on her favorite long red skirt and wrapped her scarf around her. She took out the drum Baba had bought for her earlier, put on her gloves, and slipped out. Just like her Baba. Najma and her Baba walked through the narrow alleys and twisting pathways up and down the cobbled roads of the neighborhood. Najma's strong, clear voice rang out again and again through the night air. Her hands beat steadily on her drum, thump, 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 as she and Baba paused outside the homes of their neighbors. Wake up from your beds if you believe the blessings of Sahur you must achieve. There's no time to sleep, no time to dream. Say it now with me, Ramadan Kareem. Many people stepped out onto their balconies to watch. Was it really a girl's voice they heard? Some laughed at Najma as she walked by. Others threw candy and sweets down to her, which she received with a shy nod. When Najma and her Baba had drummed at the doors of all the neighbors, they went home. Mama had their sahur ready for them. Najma was hungry and tired. She ate quickly, prayed Fajr, and went to sleep for a long time. While she slept, Najma had a beautiful dream. She saw herself walking with her drum down a long, winding path illuminated by lanterns of different colors and sizes. As she walked, she could hear the sound of many people reciting the Quran. When she woke, Najma felt happy and peaceful inside. She felt sure she would be a good Musaharati and that Allah was pleased with her. That Ramadan, Najma and her Baba spent all their nights the same way. They walked through the neighborhood and Najma sang out her verses and beat her drum. When the neighbors realized that Najma was coming out night after night, they no longer laughed or teased at her. They grew to respect and love the brave, determined little girl who was waking them up for the most important meal of their long Ramadan days. They invited her family to break the fast in their homes and proudly spoke of her in other neighborhoods. For many years afterwards, in that small Istanbul neighborhood at the end of Gul Pasha Kadesi, it was Najma who was the Ramadan Musaharati. She was as much a part of her neighbors' Ramadan as their dates, their cardamom coffee, and their nightly prayers. As the years passed, her Baba began staying at home, and she would go alone or with her brothers. As more years passed, Najma's husband began walking with her. Later, her children walked with her, and after that, her grandchildren. When the time came that Grandma Najma's bone grew too tired for her to be a Musaharati anymore, she gave her drum to her grandchildren, and they carried on the noble family tradition that she had set. But even then, every Ramadan evening, Grandma Najma would carefully put on her favorite long red skirt and wrap her shawl around her shoulders. She would sit on the steps of her small white house with the brick red roof and gently tap her wrinkled hands against her knees, singing, "Why do you sleep? Why do you sleep? Rise if you know what is better for you. Hurry and wake, His blessings to take. Your Lord the merciful is waiting for you. Come sing with me, believers big and small. Say it together now in one rising, rousing call. Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Kareem." The end. Alhamdulillah, I hope you enjoyed the story. Drama Girl. Was it that inspiring story about a little girl who was determined in something that she believed in? Now I hope this story inspires all the little girls who's listening to this video. Now if you would like to listen to more stories from Yaa Bunayya Singapore, do subscribe to our YouTube channel, Yaa Bunayya SG. Ramadan Kareem!
Thank you for watching Storytime with Yaa Bunayya Singapore. Walas,